into right field. Going back to the benches, Wallace. Yes, sir! That ball is gone.
Sponsored by Cool Beans, a block off the strip on Lake Avenue.
To the checkerboards. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Rock Solid Sports, the only show with a home field advantage for UT Athletics. Here's tonight's host.
Welcome in to Rock Solid Sports, the only sports show with a home field advantage for UT Athletics. This is your host, Jason Wyrick. To my left, I have Dylan Becker. Across the glass, Chloe Levering and Tucker Harlan. And on the phone, from our gracious sponsor, Cool Beans Bar and Grill, 1817 Lake Avenue, just a block off the strip, we have Devin Hoke. It is going to be a wonderful and loaded show tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Lady Vols softball, Tennessee Vols baseball. We're going to talk about the WNBA, the NBA, the NHL.
There you go.
Don't act like I'm not going to say it. Relax. And then during our third segment, we're going to do a year in review. We're going to talk a little bit about how the year in sports went, both at UT and in the professional ranks. We're going to talk about our favorite moments on this show. It's going to be a good show, and it's going to be quite sentimental for a few reasons, especially for me. But I'm going to save that. I'm going to cut the crap, and I'm going to get to everybody else. Dylan, how are you doing tonight, buddy?
Well, to quote, basically, what we like to say around this time of the year as hockey players is happy golf season. My Caps lost, so I'm dealing with that.
Hey, the Hawks didn't even make the playoffs.
Oh, to be fair. And just one last time, raise your hand if your team's won a Stanley Cup.
And for those that aren't watching on the stream, Dylan and I both raised our hands. Chloe and Tucker and Devin at the remote all did not raise their hands. And with that being said, we can't keep their mics muted. They got to be able to respond to that. Chloe and Tucker, how are you guys doing, man?
Well, you know, I'm a little disappointed that you said that now. I'm kind of hurt by that, but other than that, I'm doing just fine.
Chloe, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm as excited to let you host, considering it's your last show ever here at WUTK.
Well, in the studio at least. I'm sure at some point over the summer I'm going to join you guys over StreamYard. But I appreciate you giving me one last opportunity to do this. Chloe, I'm really proud of how far you've come as a panelist and now a host. You have come quite a long way. Everybody that has joined has come a long way. But for you to hop in and then just immediately within like 6 months begin to host, that was incredible. So I'm really proud of you.
I learned from the best. So
I appreciate that.
Meaning Gus. No.
Thank you. Thank you for that one. Devin Hoke over at our gracious sponsor, Cool Beans Bar and Grill at 1817 Lake Avenue. Devin, how you doing, man?
Hey, Jason, it's doing great. Here at Cool Beans, there's a lot of it's going fantastic. Lots of stuff happening. Very busy here at Cool Beans. Lots of people showing up. Beautiful weather, of course. Now that we're at this time of year, and finals are closing down. This is the place to be. This is the place to be at with your friends, family, others to watch some sports, have some fun. As you can hear people celebrating in the background. Lots of good stuff happening. And as the playoffs keep continuing, the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs, baseball, you can come here to Cool Beans and watch a great atmosphere.
Absolutely. And it is a great time to go down there. I always talk about the Wheel of Fortune being on, but there's all kinds of playoff action in both the NBA and the NHL. You've got your baseball action because it's that time of year. You have, obviously the Wheel of Jeopardy potentially if they've got it on that channel. You've got killer music
I
down
saw
there.
that the darts playoffs are going on too. So if you're into professional darts, that'll happen probably.
That's a thing? I didn't know that.
Yes. ESPN 3 is a very weird place.
I thought you were about to say ESPN 8, the Ocho. So, yeah, 1817 Lake Avenue. And, Devin, where are you set up over there? Are you outside?
No, but I really should be. I'm here inside. I just want to get a good view of everything, and there's a lot of good things happening here. Lots of people having fun over by those games over here to dart. But there's lots of people outside, and it is just beautiful out here. So perfect time to come by and hang out at Cool Beans.
Absolutely. 1817 Lake Avenue. They are your pregame destination, your postgame destination, your no-game destination. If there's not a sporting event going on, it is a fun place to be because they have darts, pool, arcade games. They've got a full bar on tap. They've got all kinds of stuff. They got a great patio for when the weather's nice, like, every day in Tennessee, it seems like over the summer. We are very appreciative of Cool Beans. Make sure to go out there, say hi to Devin, tell him Rock Solid sent you. And with that being said, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's talk a little bit about Lady Vols softball, Devin. What went on this weekend?
Well, of course, previously, before heading to the SEC tournament, Tennessee had that great sweep over Auburn.
Yep.
But
16 ranked in the country, right? Auburn was ranked, yeah.
Auburn was ranked number 16. Tennessee at the time was ranked number 12. So that was a huge series win because, of course, the top 16 teams could go to regional, and the top 8 teams could go to super regional. So if you could get to the top 8, you could possibly go to super regional, and that would be absolutely huge considering Tennessee's fantastic home field advantage. But they got to the SEC tournament. They played against the tough Missouri team, and they lost 3-0. But even after the SEC tournament, because Arkansas won the SEC championship, and they look very, very good. But Tennessee still ends up ranked number 10 in the nation to finish the regular season. Impressive record. And so what that means is they can win their regional, and the couple teams, all they need is 2 teams to get upset in their regionals, and all of a sudden Tennessee will be one of the 8 best remaining teams to be hosting a super regional. And if that's the case, there's a good chance that Tennessee could get to Oklahoma City. And the teams that they're playing in the regional are going to be Campbell and Oregon State and Ohio State.
Now, really quickly, Devin, I want to clarify with you: are they the number 10 team in the country, or are they the 10 seed? Because from my understanding, they are an 11 seed requiring 3 upsets in regionals to host a super should they advance. Can you clarify that really quickly?
Oh, I thought for sure they were number 10.
They are the number 10 team in the country, but I think they might be the 11th seed. Regardless, the Lady Vols need a couple of upsets to happen.
Yeah.
Regardless, either way, they need a few upsets to happen, and they need to get out of the regional this time. Now, Devin, we know what happened last year. Do you see anything in this field? You are our resident softball expert. Do you see any problems with the 3 teams being Campbell, Oregon State, and Ohio State? Do you see any problems with them potentially arising like we saw with James Madison and Odyssey Alexander last year?
Yeah, I think Oregon State is going to be very tough. And Oregon State is a pretty good team, and the Pac-12 was very, very difficult. Almost as good as the SEC. Of course, we know the SEC is the best conference softball, but the Pac-12 was right there. The Big 12, Pac-12, both right there with them. And Oregon State had to play a lot of tough teams. They're very battle-tested. That's one team that I think could probably cause them to see a lot of problems. But
wouldn't be the first time. Wouldn't be the first time that Oregon State caused us some problems. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that is true. So I could see that being very difficult. But still, Tennessee has been extremely impressive at home. And I know that the fans are going to show out and be strong. So I think this is set up much better this time around than last time. Good. That's what we love to hear. I think this Lady Vols team is better than they were last year. And I think they are playing better going into the postseason than they were last year as well. I think they got caught, not that they got caught napping, but I think they weren't exactly playing their best softball last year when it came to the regional, especially against a very tough James Madison team that easily in another year could have been a number 1 seed, probably could have been a number 1 seed last year. There's a case to be made for that. And so with that being said, I think that the Lady Vols are better this year. And
I don't know. Have any of you guys been to see the Lady Vols this year? Tucker, I know you saw them a couple of times and you covered, right?
Yeah, I covered a couple games.
So what do you think about that? Because from me, I haven't covered the Lady Vols this season, but I've seen a few of their games. They look like they're hitting their stride at the right time.
Yeah, I think they've hit the ball well in some of the games I've been to. I've covered a few midweekers and then that Lady Vol Challenge, which there wasn't great competition in any of those games, but, well, actually one game was good. UNC Greensboro, I think at the time they were the second best home run hitting team in the nation, and the Lady Vols actually saw them at the beginning of the year. I think they won like 4-0 or 4-1 or something like that. And in the Lady Vol Challenge, when they met again, I think it was 4-2. But, you know, they held their ground, and that's definitely a pretty good of a assessment of some.
Yeah, 4-0 to open the season against who is it you said again? I already forgot.
UNC Greensboro.
Yeah, North Carolina Greensboro. Yeah, and then they did play in the Lady Vol Challenge, and I'm looking for that score. It was 4-2. You were right.
Yeah.
And that was about a month ago that they had that. It was East Carolina, North Carolina Greensboro, and Tennessee and Virginia Tech. Were they there? No, that was a midweek game. That was a midweek game. Okay, so what was that, Devin?
Yeah, I mean, when they played Virginia Tech, that was one of their few home losses. But Virginia Tech at the time was ranked number 3 and 8.
Yeah, Virginia Tech is tough.
Right now they're number 4.
Virginia Tech is having themselves a hell of a year in diamond sports. They are the number 2 team in the country in softball, the number 3 team in the country in baseball. What a terrific job they have done this year. They are, again, a very tough team. One of the only like 3 home losses all year.
Yep. Exactly. And so Tennessee with that home field advantage, I think they can manage to get through a regional, and hopefully there'll be some upsets. And there always needs to be at least a couple. So.
And the regional does begin this week. Friday night, 6:30 p.m., first pitch. The Lady Vols will play against Campbell, and then the other 2 teams in the regional are Ohio State and Oregon State. Now, for those that don't know what the regional format looks like, it is a double elimination where you have the 1 seed play the 4 seed, the 2 seed plays the 3 seed, the 2 winners play, the 2 losers play. The loser of the loser bracket game goes home. The loser of the winners bracket game plays the winner of the losers bracket game. And then if there's still a game to be played because the losers bracket team hasn't lost twice, they will play a second time. And so that is this weekend, Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. Make sure to go out and support the Lady Vols softball team. I really do believe come this time next week, we might be talking about I won't be. I'll be out of surgery. You guys will be talking about having a super regional here at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. We need a little bit of help for it to happen, but I think we will be talking about the Lady Vols playing in one, whether it's here or whether it's on the road. Again, 6:30 p.m. Friday night at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium. You can get your tickets on, I believe you can get them on allvols.com. Regardless, make sure to go out and support the Lady Vols.
Do it.
And I truly believe they are hitting their stride at the right time. And somebody else, another team that we thought might be hitting their stride at the right time, and now there's a little bit of doubt, but I'm here to tell you that it's not all bad. The Baseballs just won the series at Georgia, right? And so they are going to be going into the last little bit of the regular season and then go to Hoover, Alabama for the SEC tournament as SEC regular season champions. Do we have a sound effect for that?
Yeah.
We need Lil Jon.
I was thinking Borat going bananas.
That too. We need to come up with some cool sound effects for that.
I've always suggested we need a soundboard.
Listen, I don't disagree. We can make it happen. I wish I would have to this point, but we're at least going to do this. We're going to enjoy this. So, your Baseballs, they have looked a little shaky. Now, we talked a little bit earlier last week about the Base Vols losing the series at Kentucky. Now, anybody that knows me knows I don't like to say that school's name. I don't like to acknowledge that they exist. However, I believe, and now please, anybody else interject if you disagree, I think this was the best thing that happened to this Vols baseball team was losing at Kentucky because they got knocked off their high horse. They got kicked down a peg, and they got exposed against an inferior Kentucky team. Now, don't get me wrong. They're a pretty decent team, and any other conference, they would be doing pretty well. But they're not doing well in the SEC because the SEC is the best baseball conference. Now, with that being said, they went up there and lost 2 of 3. They beat Bellarmine. They beat the brakes off of Bellarmine, who are new to Division I, out of Louisville, 11-5 in the midweek. And then they went in and won the first 2 games against Georgia at home, 5-2 and 9-2. They did lose the series finale, 3-8 on Saturday. However, what do you guys think? Because this team getting exposed, I think, was the best thing that could have happened to this team because they are one of those teams. They were just rolling. They were getting lackadaisical, thinking, oh, we're just going to beat the brakes off of everybody. Nobody can beat us. We're untouchable. And then they got a wake-up call just in the nick of time because if you go into the postseason feeling like that, you are going to lose almost immediately. You will lose in the postseason with that type of mentality. But losing up in Lexington, getting embarrassed by the pitching in Lexington all weekend, I truly believe this is going to be beneficial. And it showed against a very tough Georgia team this weekend. Obviously, taking 2 of 3 is always going to be good, but they looked pretty good this weekend.
I don't know. I would really say that before, dropping the series at Kentucky, the Vols really thought they were unstoppable.
Obviously, those are hyperboles, but still.
Obviously, they had been stopped before, one game against Alabama and Texas,
but they hadn't lost a series all
Texas
season.
Tech. Right. So that I would agree that was a wake-up call. And then at Georgia, that was definitely not as bad, or not at Georgia, here in Knoxville. To me, that was not as bad. Obviously they won the series. The second game, though, was where they clinched the SEC, right? The second game out of the series. So then I think that game afterwards, that third game, might have been kind of an underestimation, that they might have been kind of up on their high horses, which couldn't have been too good. But I wouldn't really say that this is a bad thing. I think that, in the SEC in baseball this year, it's looking good for a lot of teams. And as we saw at Kentucky, that's what's going to happen. And compared to Kentucky compared to this Georgia series, I don't think the Georgia series looked that bad.
Oh, not at all. Opinion. Not nearly.
And then you've got coming up Mississippi State and Belmont.
The reigning champions, Mississippi State as well.
Who are the second worst team in the conference, by the way.
That life comes at you fast. And it really is that simple, Tucker. Life comes at you fast. And baseball is a finicky game like that. Because you can be unstoppable, win a championship, and then immediately the next year just fall off a cliff. That is the game of baseball in a nutshell.
And sports are like that in general. We'll get more into it, but Montreal Canadiens.
The Hawks as well.
Yeah.
Pain.
But again, we'll get
into that. But Tucker, with Mississippi State coming up this upcoming weekend, it's going to be in Starkville, and then obviously the midweek game tomorrow night, the home finale for the regular season against Belmont tomorrow, first pitch at 6 p.m. What are you thinking looking at this team going into next week's tournament in Hoover?
So this is going to be a very interesting series against Mississippi State. The Dude is a tough place to play,
right,
for anyone.
And for those that don't know, it's Dudy Noble Field. They call it the Dude. It is one of the nicest ballparks in the country, period.
Yeah,
I just wouldn't be able to get past the name of it. I hate that really bad. Sorry, continue.
Okay, so Tennessee is in a rare. They have a rare luxury right now where they can really just watch the chaos happen this weekend because there's still a lot of unknowns going into the tournament because right now Texas A&M and Arkansas are both 17-10 in the conference, so that we could see somebody like maybe Texas A&M take over that number 2 spot. And by the way, they did beat Arkansas in that series this year, which is a rare feat. And, we could still see somebody, sneak into the tournament or fall out.
And Arkansas is one of those teams. Now, they've never won a College World Series, but they are perennially in it. They are an elite program at the top level of college baseball. Beating them in a series is no small order.
No, not at all. Especially, well, it was not at Baum-Walker. They did lose at
especially
home.
There, yeah.
They did lose at home to Vanderbilt, a series in which their fans decided to pull 2 raccoons out of the stands. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, listen, anybody that hasn't seen that, please go look it up. It was an incredible video. I tweeted it, and I said, rednecks in the South are built different, and I will die on that hill. I have become one of them, and I'm proud of it. The South has made me different, and I love it. The South is just different.
Like I always say, built different, built stupid, go Vols.
I don't know how much we want to own of that, but we would always go Vols. The South is just built different. And this guy, the video in question, please go look it up. Do yourself a favor and look it up. This guy is like reaching down underneath the bleachers. It looks like he's dropped his phone or something. And then all of a sudden, the entire crowd like erupts. And he pulls out this raccoon by like the back of his neck, and he's like holding him up like a trophy, like walking out, and like the security people are like, what do we do? And he just walks up like holding this thing like a trophy while the thing's like squirming everywhere and trying to get away, and this guy's just carrying him away from all the people. It was comical. Please go watch that video.
Was it, as these kids on the internet are saying these days, a thick boy?
I mean, I don't know that I'd consider him a thick boy, but he's a
chunk.
He's a rather large wild animal. But sorry, Tucker, please continue. That that needed to be talked about.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought it up.
I absolutely agree. That one got me.
We've gone off the rails.
Yes,
but we love it.
Yeah. A lot of things can happen this weekend, again, in baseball, because right now, as it stands, Missouri and Mississippi State are the 2 worst teams in the conference. Maybe a sweep, they can get in, and maybe somebody else will fall out if they get swept or lose 2 of 3. Ole Miss, I think, probably had the biggest weekend out of anybody. They got a sweep at LSU. That pretty much saved their season. They were looking iffy on going to Hoover. Now they're pretty much a lock for Hoover. So they're in, but I think there's 4 teams, probably Kentucky, Alabama, Missouri, and Mississippi State right now, that I would say are still iffy at the moment and really need something good to happen this weekend.
Yeah, I think that the chaos is going to be a lot of fun to watch, too.
Yeah.
It's going to be incredible because there are, like you said, there are so many unknowns going into the weekend.
Yes, but we know one thing.
The Vols are the SEC champs.
Yes,
and that's all that
we're
matters.
5 games ahead of everyone else.
We are not only the SEC champs, your Tennessee Volunteers baseball team, the Fightin' Tony Vitellos, not only won the SEC championship, they did it with an exclamation point. And again, the home finale is tomorrow night at 6 o'clock first pitch against in-state rival Belmont, who does have a pretty decent baseball program as well. Baseball in the state of Tennessee is doing very, very well right now. You got Belmont, who's pretty good. You've got Vanderbilt, who's always pretty good. You got Tennessee Tech, who is really good. You got the Baseballs, that are the best team in the country. It's a good time to play baseball in the state of Tennessee. Go out and see the Baseballs tomorrow.
Do it.
6 p.m. first pitch again against Belmont. They have one last SEC series this weekend at Mississippi State. If you want to travel, go to Starkville. Stark Vegas, as they like to call it.
How far's the drive?
I have no idea. Probably like 8 hours or more. That's a haul.
It's a hefty drive.
That's south of Memphis, and Memphis is like 6 hours from here.
Ouch.
So if that's your thing, go for it. But you can watch them however you watch. It's on the SEC network, actually. They're all 3 going to be on the SEC network or SEC Network Plus. Watch the Baseballs. Go out and support your Lady Vols softball team this weekend in their regional. The Baseballs are going to host a regional unless, barring something just miraculous happening, they're going to host a super regional as well. So long as, Odyssey Alexander doesn't come out of retirement and pitch for one of these teams against the Vols. And And of course, next week they're going to be playing in Hoover as well for the SEC championship, preceding all of the postseason, the NCAA postseason bidding. So, with that being said, though, that's Diamond Sports on the University of Tennessee campus. That was a really long-winded segment, but I'm really glad we talked about it.
And baseball's fun.
Yeah.
And it's when you think summertime, you think baseball. I always
Softball as well.
But yeah, just Diamond Sports in general. It's outdoors. You're eating a hot dog, or if you're from Maryland like me, you're eating a nice crab cake, having a Gatorade or something, watching the Orioles suck.
Doesn't even matter what year, just every year.
Yeah.
That's how I was with the Sox. But before we go to our first break, I want to throw it over to Chloe because there are some things going on in the WNBA right now that involve some names that you may be familiar with. Chloe, what's going on in the WNBA right now?
Yeah, so I want to start doing through the summer. I know I did it a little bit last summer, but talking about more VFLs or lady VFLs, you will, on the WNBA, because there are a lot, but I only have really two to talk about right now because they played each other specifically the other week. LA Sparks, Ray Burrell, who was just drafted only like a month ago, and Candace Parker, of course, with the Chicago Sky played each other, and the Chicago Sky actually lost to the LA Sparks. And Ray Burrell, that is the only game she has scored in so far yet. She scored 5 points.
First of many, though.
Yes, for sure. So she scored 5 points against Candace Parker.
And the reigning champs, too.
Yeah, reigning champs as well. There's no telling early in the season, but I think the Sparks have won 2, lost 2. So it's only the beginning, but those are some, lady ball for life in the WNBA so far. It's getting exciting, especially if you're like me. You're not a huge pro sports fan, but once you see someone you recognize, like Grant Williams for the Celtics or anything like that.
How about that, too? That was awesome. Grant Williams just popped off to lead the Celtics over the Milwaukee Bucks. Was it yesterday or was it 2 days ago? I don't even remember. The dates are all kind of running together, but Grant Williams popped off.
He has been, too, for a few games here now.
I think he's finally unlocked his potential because he looked awesome.
I knew it would happen at some point.
And
because when he first was playing for them, there was a few times when, it was like his old Tennessee self, some free throws here and there. He missed some of them. It lost him the game, right? Do you remember that?
He's had to change his game, too, because, 6'7" big men in the NBA don't really exist. So now he's kind of moved into being a shooting guard instead of being like a power forward, which it's really impressive to watch that adjustment.
For sure. You can definitely notice if you watch any of those games lately, Grant Williams is back, but in a completely different way than you ever saw him play if you're a Tennessee fan.
Absolutely. And with that being said, we are going to wrap this first segment. And on the other side, I'm going to turn it over to our main man, Dylan Becker, the resident hockey analyst, hockey guy Dylan, whatever superlative you want to call him. He knows more than any two people about anything ice hockey related, except what it's like to win multiple Stanley Cups. So nothing? No response?
You're listening to Rock Solid Sports on WUTK.
Volunteer Radio stays on air thanks to Cool Beans, the 21 Up college sports bar next to campus on Lake Avenue, a block off the strip. Cool Beans has 25 rotating beer taps and bottles. HD TVs everywhere, along with darts, pool, and arcade games. Open every day at 11 a.m. to late night. Burgers, wings, and sandwiches, vol card accepted. Cool Beans hosts Rock Solid Sports every Monday night at 7. Trivia Tuesdays, Bingo Thursdays. More on Instagram at Knox Cool Beans or CoolBeansBar.com.
Volunteer Radio remains on the air thanks to listener donations and support from the UT Athletic Department. After making it to Omaha last season, the 2022 baseball ball season begins in February and runs into May, featuring games with SEC rivals South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, and more at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Season group and individual game ticket info is at allvols.com. Students need to show their valid UT ID at the gate for entrance. Tune into Rock Solid Sports for UT baseball coverage, and The Rock wishes Coach Vitello and the Baseballs good luck on the diamond this season.
The
Rock thanks the Hill Bar and Grill for their support. The Hill on Forest Avenue is open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. until late night for dining indoors or on the expanded patio. The Hill has a variety of appetizers and a full menu of wings, burgers, tacos, and more. The Hill is our Thursday Munchie Madness sponsor and home of Friday's Rock Solid Sports. On Instagram at The Hill Knox. Menu at thehillknox.com.
Support for WUTK comes from the Hookah Hookup, sponsors of the edutainment hip-hop show Saturday nights from 9 to midnight. The Hookah Hookup has 2 Knoxville locations across from Bearden Elementary, 5710 Kingston Pike, and celebrating 10 years on the Strip with a new location, 1821 Cumberland Avenue. Customer parking available behind the building. The Hookah Hookup has CBD oil and gummies, hemp products, kratom, and an assortment of pipes and smoking accessories. The Hookah Hookup in Bearden, on the Strip, and the new online medicinal shop, apotheca.org.
Hey, this is Matt from Matt and Kim, and you're listening to 90.3 The Rock. Bam, 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 bam.
Volunteer Radio receives support from Tennessee Smokies Baseball, the AA Southern League affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, whose 2022 regular season schedule features 6-game homestands, Tuesdays through Sundays at Smoky Stadium, just off the exit in Kodak. The next series takes place against the Chattanooga Lookouts, Tuesday, May 17th. That's tomorrow. Through Sunday, May 22nd. WUTK's Rock Solid Sports, hey, that's us. We'll keep you up to date with Smokies Baseball on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 7 p.m., smokiesbaseball.com, and there's a link at WUTKradio.com.
Support for WUTK comes from Fieldhouse Social, the modern sports bar next to campus at University Commons. Fieldhouse Social serves American craft fare such as burgers, wings, and more with high tops around the bar, a separate dining area, and a center lounge with leather chairs and couches in front of their 23-foot LED TV wall for Tennessee and pro sports. Fieldhouse Social is an outdoor patio with trivia twice a week and sponsors Wednesday's Rock Solid Sports. FieldhouseSocial.com.
Hey, this is Portugal the Man, and you're listening to 90.3 The Rock, UT's College of Rock.
90.3 The Rock proudly brings Knoxville the best in new and classic, independent, and underground music on the Indie Owl. Monday nights from 8 to 10, hosted by former award-winning alumni from the WUTK Music Department and sponsored by Magnolia Records, 1515 North Central Avenue in Knoxville, and the Tomato Head Restaurant on Market Square and in the Gallery Shopping Center. Spinning cutting-edge music from around the world that pushes musical boundaries like noise pop, math rock, slowcore, shoegaze, garage rock, chamber pop, chillwave, and more. The Indie Owl brings you hard-to-find music from the artists that make it to the listeners who love it. The Indie Owl also provides independent artist news and chances to win Tomato Head and Magnolia Records gift cards. Tune in to Knoxville's true independent radio. The Indie Owl, Monday nights at 8, only on 90.3 The Rock, always bringing Knoxville new music first.
.3 The Rock thanks UT Athletic Department and the Lady Vols 2022 softball team for their support. The Lady Vols postseason at Sherry Parker Lee Stadium begins this Friday, May 20th, with a first-round regional playoff matchup against Campbell University, with first pitch at 6:30 p.m. Ohio State and Oregon State are the other two teams in this regional, a double elimination tourney, with the winner moving on to the NCAA Super Regional round. Ticket info is at allvols.com. WUTK.
Yeah, I was right. It was allvols.com.
Nice. WUTK's Rock Solid Sports will provide UT softball postseason coverage, and Volunteer Radio wishes the Lady Vols softball team good luck on their quest to make it back to the College Softball World Series.
Let's go to Oklahoma City.
Hoorah.
Volunteer Radio remains on the air thanks to support from Tennessee Smokies Baseball, the AA Southern League affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, whose 2022 regular season schedule features 6-game homestands Tuesdays through Sundays at nearby Smoky Stadium in Kodak against the Chattanooga Lookouts, Mississippi Braves, Birmingham Barons, and more. WUTK's Rock Solid Sports will cover Smokies Baseball all season long. SmokiesBaseball.com, and a link is at WUTKRadio.com.
Volunteer Radio stays on air thanks to Cool Beans, the 21-up college sports bar next to campus on Lake Avenue, a block off the Strip. Cool Beans has 25 rotating beer taps and bottles. HGTVs everywhere, along with darts, pool, and arcade games. Open every day at 11 a.m. till late night. Burgers, wings, and sandwiches, vol card accepted. Cool Beans hosts Rock Solid Sports every Monday night at 7. Trivia Tuesdays, Bingo Thursdays. More on Instagram at Knox Cool Beans or CoolBeansBar.com.
Volunteer Radio remains on the air thanks to listener donations and support from the UT Athletic Department. After making it to Omaha last season, the 2022 baseball fall season begins in February and runs into May, featuring games with SEC rivals South Carolina, Alabama, Georgia, and more at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Season group and individual game ticket info is at allvols.com. Students need to show their valid UT ID at the gate for entrance. Tune into Rock Solid Sports for UT baseball coverage, and The Rock wishes Coach Vitello and the Baseballs good luck on the diamond this season.
The Rock thanks the Hill Bar and Grill for their support. The Hill on Forest Avenue is open 7 days a week at 11 a.m. until late night for dining indoors or on the expanded patio. The Hill has a variety of appetizers and a full menu of wings, burgers, tacos, and more. The Hill is our Thursday Munchie Madness sponsor and home of Friday's Rock Solid Sports. On Instagram at The Hill Knox. Menu at thehillknox.com.
Hi, this is Alice from La Luz, and you are tuned in to WUTK 90.3 The Rock, where music matters most.
The Rock stays on air thanks to Knox Corner Store, the health and wellness store at 318 Knox Road in Fountain City, specializing in Farm Bill compliant hemp products, CBD, Delta 8 gummies, and more. Knox Corner Store also carries Kratom, HHC, THCA, along with a variety of smoking accessories, edibles, dabs, and vapes. The knowledgeable and friendly staff at Knox Corner Store can help with products from artisanal candy to herbal medicines. Knox Corner Store, 318 Knox Road in the heart of Fountain City.
Support for WUTK comes from Fieldhouse Social, the modern sports bar next to campus at University Commons. Fieldhouse Social serves American craft fare such as burgers, wings, and more with high tops around the bar, a separate dining area, and a center lounge with leather chairs and couches in front of their 23-foot LED TV wall for Tennessee and pro sports. Fieldhouse Social is an outdoor patio with trivia twice a week and sponsors Wednesday's Rock Solid Sports. FieldhouseSocial.com.
Volunteer Radio remains on the air thanks to support from Tennessee Smokies Baseball, the AA Southern League affiliate of the Chicago Cubs, whose 2022 regular season schedule features 6-game homestands Tuesdays through Sundays at nearby Smokies Stadium in Kodak against the Chattanooga Lookouts, Mississippi Braves, Birmingham Barons, and more. WUTK's Rock Solid Sports will cover Smokies Baseball all season long. SmokiesBaseball.com, and a link is at WUTKRadio.com.
Bring it back.
All right, I might as well do this.
It's your segment. Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Rock Solid Sports. Happy Monday. Happy golf season. That's what we like to call hockey season when our teams get crushed and we are emotionally distraught as a result.
I just call it sad boy hours.
It's sad boy hours all summer, but hey, at least you're on the course.
I can't do that. I'm going to have surgery.
I play mini golf, so that's how
I can do that with one hand, probably.
Oh, it's easy. And I've scored a hole in one with one hand before. But anyways, they bring me on because I know a thing or two about hockey.
A thing or two or everything?
Just a hint of hockey knowledge.
What's going on in the hockey world?
Well, it's playoffs. Round one.
Playoffs?
Yeah. Round one is over, and like I said, I am emotionally crushed. Washington lost, and I'm sure
everybody's teams are not in the second round, is what I'm hearing.
That I actually didn't think. Do we have a single? Actually, no. Connor's a Carolina fan, right?
I don't know. I think Keegan is.
Yeah.
I think Keegan is actually.
And yeah, Pittsburgh's eliminated too. I know one of our guys is a Penguins fan. So yeah, basically everyone's team is.
Basically everybody's team is.
Yeah.
Out. It's sad boy hours all around.
But anyways,
at least you guys made the playoffs.
Let's get Devin on. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you, Dylan.
All right, we'll start with the local team, given they're like, 2 hours, 45 minutes away. Colorado sweeps Nashville 4-0. They're going to play St. Louis, who beat Minnesota 4-2. How are we feeling about that?
Well, and I've talked to you a little bit about this with you before, Dylan, but I really think Colorado is the best team in the field. So deep. And if they go all the way with the Stanley Cup, it'll ease the pain a little bit. We'll at least know that Nashville lost to the best team. And really looking at the rest of the field, facing at the very least with the Western Conference, because all the other teams in the West had that serious battle to make it second round. Obviously, Calgary and Edmonton, which that'll be a fantastic series. Both of them had to fight hard game 7 to barely get past the teams that they play at the start of the game. So now they'll have to battle each other. And so I think no matter what, Colorado is probably going to have an advantage. But St. Louis, that's going to be a tough team, I think. I think Colorado wins, but I think they go 6 or 7 games.
Yeah,
it'll be as easy as
that's a reasonable prediction. I'm going to go Colorado in 6 on that. And then you mentioned it as well. We got the Battle of Alberta going on for at least 4 games. Calgary against Edmonton are playing each other in the playoffs. We got McDavid going against Gaudreau. That's definitely going to be exciting. What are your thoughts on that?
This will be an incredible series. Honestly, it's going to get art rivals playing each other. It's going to be intense. And the fact that they haven't played each other since the early 90s in the playoffs.
I think it was 1991.
Yep, 1991 was the last battle of Alberta in the postseason. And now we're finally getting it again. And both these teams are very exciting teams. The Flames have lots of star players. Johnny Gaudreau is an absolute really exciting superstar. I'm so happy for him that he got the overtime winner because lots of people think he doesn't show up in the postseason, which sometimes is true, but he's trying to set that narrative. And he did a great job of setting that narrative. I believe he had 8 points in those 7 games. So fantastic choice, man. Johnson was obviously he's great, and Giovanni is obviously he's really great. They have a lot of quality. Of course, Jacob Markstrom was one of the best goalies in the league this regular season. And obviously for the Oilers, they've got arguably, we got, in my opinion, the best player in the league, Connor McDavid. Of course, that'd be most people's opinion. You could argue Nathan McKinnon, but McDavid is either number 1 or number 2 best players in the entire league. And then, of course, Draisaitl is the top 5 player. And Evander Kane, we can say what we want about Evander Kane all day long. He's fitted brilliant with that team. He's had 7 goals in their series against Los Angeles. And I don't know if you saw it, Dylan, but after he scored his 7th goal, he went up to the crowd and flashed at the pictures.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, that was one of the few moments of him being chaotic, I guess is the word that doesn't violate FCC guidelines, where it was actually amusing. But moving on to the East, I think I'll take care of this one, given it's my team. Florida, unfortunately, beat Washington 4-2 and is going to play Tampa, who beat Toronto at 4-3. I don't think this is a complete it wasn't Washington's fault that we lost. Florida won the President's Trophy. They're a solid team. I was reading in the days since that loss that a lot of our guys are hurt. Ovechkin was dealing with a shoulder injury. Obviously, Wilson was out the entire series. And the most concerning one is Backstrom, his thing going on with his hip that might end his career within the next, maybe this offseason, maybe next year. I don't know. But it's obviously concerning. Now, as for Tampa, they're going for the three-peat. We've seen them do it twice already. Maybe they'll do it again. They have the right stuff to go for it. But it's just a matter of, are they going to be able to beat Florida? I'd prefer they be able to, but then I'd rather have them lose in the next round, which will be decided between Carolina, who beat Boston 4-3, and New York, who beat Pittsburgh 4-3 as well. And in my opinion, the New York-Pittsburgh series has been the best series of the playoffs so far. I hate basically every team in the Metro Division. And so being able to just absolutely trash both teams was an absolute blast. But over the past few years, Pittsburgh has done a lot less to bother me. Granted, they dominated us in the playoffs in the past, but those demons were exercised in the spring, summer of 2018 when we beat them to go on to win the Cup. Now, New York, on the other hand, we all remember last year what happened. They've done a little more to annoy me. So in a rare occurrence, I was rooting for Pittsburgh on this one. They put up a good fight. But who was it that scored that game winner?
Oh, against Pittsburgh, it was Panarin.
Yeah,
the Brett man.
Yeah,
I miss Artemi Panarin. I miss him.
He is one heck of a player.
I hate to say it, but he's an absolute superstar. And you also have Igor between the pipes for New York, who, in my opinion, he's going to win the Vezina. And he's on the team I hate the most, but he's that good. I'm willing to put my beef aside to recognize how fantastic of a goalie he is. And I read that he's also a candidate for the Hart Trophy, which I wouldn't put it past him, especially if New York ends up winning the Cup.
Yeah, but I will say he didn't look super good at that series against Pittsburgh.
Well,
he looked pretty shaky, and that's going to be one of the main storylines heading into this game is that obviously the Hurricanes were able to beat the Bruins without Frederick Anderson. That's really they had Ronta as goalie. But Antti Ronta looked fantastic. He looked great, especially at home. And the other main storyline is Tony D'Angelo, who's a great player for the Rangers, has been one of the best players for the Hurricanes this series. He's now on the Hurricanes now. Now he's going to go up against his old team, which has certainly got to be some bad stuff there.
Now, the other hockey stuff going on, let me see if I can scroll through it all and find it. First of all, Islanders named Lane Lambert as head coach, replacing Barry Trotz. How do you feel about that, Devin?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Barry Trotz.
And we all are on this show. He got Washington a cup. He got you guys some success.
Yeah.
What did he do for me?
He's a really good coach.
Nothing.
Yeah, he's just a really good coach, and I'm sure he's going to find another spot. He's going to end up going to another middle of the road team and turn them into a playoff contender.
I heard he might be going to Philly, actually.
Yeah, I could see that. He's kind of bounced around the Eastern Conference a little bit now, so I could see it going.
I hate to see him go to a Metro Division rival, especially as in a city as disgusting as Philadelphia. But he's a talented coach. Philly used to be an absolute powerhouse, so maybe he can revive the organization. But the other big coach movement was Vegas fired Peter DeBoer after missing the Stanley Cup for the first time since 2017, 2018, which I think is stupid. You miss one playoff series and you fire your coach.
So Dylan, have you heard of the YouTuber urinating free?
Of course, I love his end of season rants right before the playoffs.
He has a fantastic video about Vegas. You have to see it. You have to see it already. And I'm just going to shout it out. I started watching this when he was very small YouTuber, like years ago. I just started watching it back when he started getting to when the Predators made their run to Stanley Cup Finals back in 2017. That's when I started watching this. And his channel has exploded since then. And he has a fantastic video about exactly what's going on in Vegas. Hilarious. And I highly recommend people watch it to find out exactly what's going on. It is a very informative, very funny video. But yeah, lots of people hate Vegas right now. They become extremely arrogant. And they somehow managed to make everybody angry. And I think it's only going to continue to get worse from here as management continues to just keep throwing money at things and start treating their players that they've been, like their goalies especially. The way they treated Fleury was not right. The way they treated Hunter is not right. And I think at some point it will catch up to them too.
Now, I would like to say that Vegas has always been one of the most arrogant fan bases, given their success their first year. But you know who put them in their place? I'll give you three names. Alex Ovechkin, Nick Backstrom, Braden Holtby. There we go. So, yeah, I guess that's hockey. Unfortunately, it's time to get a little sappy on Rock Solid Sports and talk about
we got to do the year in review.
Yeah, that's what we're about to do. It's depressing to talk about things coming to an end.
Yeah.
I'm sad I'm leaving.
Yeah, it is a time right now for sure. And I want to go around the table. I'll start with you, Devin. What was your favorite moment in sports this year?
Both Tennessee and professional.
Both Tennessee sports and elsewhere?
Well, one of my favorite moments this year for sure was when the Tennessee Titans beat the Buffalo Bills last season. And I was the only one to predict that the Titans would win that game. Everybody said the Bills would win the game. You guys thought I was ridiculous to pick the Titans, but all behold, the Titans ended up winning in a close, epic battle. So that was definitely one of my favorite moments to see the Titans come away with the victory there for Monday night. That's one of my favorite moments following the show, to see that happen directly after.
Dylan, what about you?
All right, so for Tennessee, even though it's kind of a black eye on our entire school, I think the entire week leading up to the Ole Miss game was some of the most fun I've ever had.
Really quickly, Chloe, you said something earlier that I want you to repeat really quickly because I think everybody that's listening will share this sentiment.
Well, Dylan was saying something like the week of the Ole Miss game, and I said, or the day of the Ole Miss game, something like that. And I said, you can say, like, it will be 20 years in the future. And if somebody who I know from here, from University of Tennessee, says the Ole Miss game, I'll automatically know which game they're referring to.
Like, sure, we will probably play Ole Miss again sometime in the future, but we all know what the Ole Miss game is. But that whole, as horrible as what happened at that game was, just that whole week, the vibe on campus was just
It was electric.
Exactly. It's everyone. Big Orange Friday was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. It was awesome. Everyone was so excited. They checkered Neyland. It was packed. I will be honest, I teared up a little during Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places. It was absolutely awesome. But professional sports, we'll go to the hockey side.
Shocker.
I think it was spring break. I was able to witness Ovechkin score his. I think it was.
I thought you were going to go with when you were an ice girl with the Ice Bears. That was pretty cool too.
That's top 5.
That might be my favorite moment of the year.
That's top 5.
I thought he was about to go with the Stadium Series.
That is a good one.
That
All
too.
Right, so we'll tie the Stadium Series.
We got to go quick though. We're running out of time. Let's get around
Stadium
the table
Series
here.
and Ovechkin passing Yager for 3rd overall in goal scoring. I was there. It was my first game in my season tickets. It was fantastic. Can't wait to see more goals.
Chloe, what you got? What's your favorite moments from this year?
So my favorite moment from this year, I have to say, besides like a personal moment, which would be being, marching with the Pride for my first time. That's all in a different category because it's not really sport. But my favorite sports moment.
It absolutely is.
Probably. Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
That's an experience. That was my favorite experience related to sports. But my favorite thing that happened in sports was at the Texas game, Lady Vols versus Texas, who was ranked above them, one of the early season games. Tamika Catchings was there, and I got to interview her, and she was in the house when the Lady Vols beat Texas, and it was a full stadium. It was full TBA, and it was just awesome.
All right. Tucker, what you got?
Okay, so outside of Tennessee sports, I'm going to go with the Atlanta Braves winning the World Series.
Good one.
They're probably my second favorite NFL or MLB team. What am I saying? But they broke the curse. They broke the Georgia sports curse. And, the whole it's really the whole South team. So to see that happen was just incredible. It's sad that Freddie's gone, but, it was really awesome to see that happen. And for Tennessee, how do you choose just one?
It's been a good year.
Yeah, it's been an oddly good year here at Tennessee. I'm probably going to go with the Ole Miss week was great, but I'm going to go with Tennessee beating Auburn at home
That was
in basketball.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. And mine, I'm going to go for Tennessee sports. I'm going to go beating the school up north, beating the hell out of them in basketball. And then secondarily, going up there and beating them at the Supermarket Stadium in Lexington. And as far as professional sports, I'm kind of with you, Chloe. I've got something kind of personal with the Ice Bears. Doing PA for them, that was an incredible opportunity. As far as just favorite overall sports moment, though, I'm I think I'm going to go
Me
with...
doing figure skating.
You know what? Yes. Yeah. Dylan the Ice Girl was my favorite character arc this entire season. If you don't know what we're talking about, I'm sorry to hear that.
Read Ice Bear's Facebook.
Yeah. But with that being said, I just wanted to take a moment to thank everyone for listening and everyone at WUTK for their mentorship, friendship, and partnership. I want to thank Benny first and foremost for believing in me and always pushing me to be my best. Nobody is harder on me than Benny, but that's because he believes, and that goes for everybody. But nobody is harder on you than Benny, but that's because he sees the potential that you have and he wants to push you into that potential. And I am forever grateful for that. Benny has pushed me to be a better person, a better producer, a better host. And I'm very thankful for his mentorship and tutelage. I also want to give a shout out to the guys last year for welcoming this Midwestern transplant with open arms and welcoming my opinions to their leadership. That's Gus, Phil, and Nick. You guys are the best. You guys are awesome, and I'm so thankful to have worked with you, and I'm thankful to be your friend. Also this year, I want to thank Chloe and Joseph for helping me keep this show afloat, especially in my time of need following the accident. Tonight was my last show hosting Rock Solid Sports, and I want to thank you again, Chloe, for allowing me to do so one last time. My time at WUTK is coming to a close Friday as I'm graduating with my master's degree and moving on to the big boy world. Following my recovery from my surgery, it's happening 1 week from today, I am moving back to Louisville and beginning a new chapter, one with ESPN Louisville, 680 on the AM dial, 107 or 1057, on the FM dial. I'm so grateful for the opportunity I was afforded here at WUTK and on Rock Solid Sports, and I'm really proud of what we were able to do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what further prosperity you guys are able to lead Rock Solid into in the future. It's been an honor to be your executive producer and a host of this show, and my time here will be cherished forever. Thank you again for one last time. This was Rock Solid Sports on WUTK Radio, 90.3 The Rock.
90.3 The Rock proudly brings Knoxville the best in new and classic, independent, and underground music on the Indie Hour. Monday nights from 8 to 10, hosted by former award-winning alumni from the WUTK